Yo, and what is going on YouTube, and welcome back for another Oathbreaker Deck Tech. Now, if you guys are loving the Oathbreaker format, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you have not already. If you're interested in MagiKids, make sure to check out the links in the description down below. But guys, let's jump right on into this video. Now, our Oathbreaker of choice for today is going to be Tamiyo, Collector of Tales, paired with her signature spell of Aquatex Whale. Now, Tamiyo, Collector of Tales, for 2 green, blue, enters the battlefield with 5 loyalty and the following abilities. Now, her static ability is that spells and abilities our opponents control can't cause us to discard cards or sacrifice permanents. Her +1, choose a non-land card name, then reveal the top 4 cards of your library. Put all cards with that chosen name among them into your hand and the rest into the graveyard. Her -3 returns a target card from your graveyard to your hand. Now, I do also have the Japanese alternate art just because I think it's absolutely beautiful, and it's nice to play with. Now, Aquatex Whale is for a blue mana, it's a tribal sorcery, merfolk. Put a flood counter on target land. That land is an island in addition to its other types as long as it has a flood counter on it. If you control a merfolk, you get to draw a card. Now, yes, that is going to be the theme of this deck. It is going to be merfolk, and I am positive that this deck is absolutely incredible for the Oathbreaker format. Who would have thought merfolk in Oathbreaker? Now, our first creature is going to be Kamena's Speaker. For a green, it gets +1/+1 if you control another merfolk or an island. Now we kind of go directly into the merfolk, Branchwalker, Silvergill Adept, Deeproot Elite, Harbinger of the Tides. Kind of this deck is all about the 2-drop value merfolk. As they enter the battlefield, they either get to explore, we get to draw cards, they get counters on them, we get to bounce tapped creatures to people's hands. Deeproot Champion gets a +1/+1 counter whenever we cast a non-creature spell. Merfolk Trickster triggers, and we get to tap down an opponent's creature. Then we get into our 3-drops. Now, we don't have as many of these, but they are still super important to the deck. Jade Light Ranger, we get that explore again. Shapers of Nature, we can put counters on creatures or we can remove them to draw cards. Kapala, Warden of the Waves, cards that cast or that target merfolk we control, they're going to cost 2 more, and abilities the same. Master of the Pearl Trident. Now we get into our lords. Now this deck has a lot of lords in it just to really beef up some of these 2-drop merfolk. We have Master of the Pearl Trident, so then all of our creatures have Island Walk, Merfolk Sovereign, Merfolk Mistbinder, and of course the Judge promo, Lord of Atlantis. Now, why is Island Walk so important? Now, our signature spell makes our opponents have also islands, so we can cast Aquatex Whale. If we have one of our lords out that give our creatures Island Walk, our merfolk cannot be blocked, and we just swing in for lethal damage. Now, we also have Kumena. Kumena has a lot of different abilities. It can't be blocked, draw a card. We can also tap a bunch of merfolk and put counters on each of the merfolk we control. Thada Adele, this is kind of, she's good if you know your opponents are playing artifact cards. You can go in there, exile an artifact from their deck, and then you get to play that card until the end of turn. Herald of the Secret Streams, creatures with +1/+1 counters on them can't be blocked. The Seafloor Oracle, whenever it deals damage to a player, we get to draw a card. That is extremely important in this deck just to keep our hand refilled all the time, so we can just keep casting merfolk, keep doing damage, and just kind of end the game as quick as possible. Now, Marrow Commerce, I really love this card. It's tribal enchantment for merfolk. At the end of your turn, untap all merfolk you control. Now, Deeproot Waters, whenever we cast a merfolk spell, we're going to get one of these 1/1 merfolk creature tokens with hexproof. That gets really out of control with all the lords that we have. Urza's Incubator, they're going to cost less. The same would be true for Herald's Horn. Now, I also really like Bident of Thassa for this deck. Whenever a creature we control deals combat damage to a player, we get to draw a card. Engulf the Shore. This is kind of the only mass removal in this deck. There's tons of options that you have available, but since we are running quite a few islands, I feel this is just kind of a good way, if we get a slow start, to just bounce everything to their hands and kind of regain control. Corrosive Grip is just split-second removal for artifacts and enchantments, and Beast Within is just for all those trouble permanents. Now we do have a really small kind of counter spell package, Force of Negation, Negate, Counterspell. I really like Force of Negation and Negate just because it just shuts down people casting their Planeswalkers. We have a small ramp package just because we don't have any of those, Mana Dork Elves, Kadama's Reach, Farseek, and Cultivate. We also have Distant Melody for card draw, 3 in a blue, choose a creature type, draw a card for each permanent you control of that type. Collected Company on an end step, you know what it does, 6 cards on the top, put 2 creature cards with CMC 3 or less onto the battlefield. Heroic Intervention to give our permanents hexproof, and Fog just because nobody likes it when you fog them when they swing in for lethal damage. But guys, that is going to be it for this Oathbreaker Deck Tech. If you guys are loving the Oathbreaker format, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, because what else you gonna do? I'll catch you guys later.